And many people around the world see Korea this way. And, they are seeing Korea in ways that very often Koreans don't necessarily see themselves. But what's important is the United States, we became rich, we became really wealthy because we went out around the world and we made things happen for us. We, in large part, took things from other people in our benefit throughout the later part of the 19th century and the 20th century. But Korea didn't do that. You did this on your own. You didn't go conquer other nations, right? You did this on your own. You did it through hard work and you did it through education. And this is really worth noting for us as professors, and for me as someone who studies the political economy and development of the global world. So there's something in this.
And this might be that the hidden things underneath the surface that we can't see. But the competition, the fierce competition that exists in the same space, the space of education, and yet underneath it is a fire. That's education, that's mass education.
This mass education, and there's a lot of focus on memorization here in Korea. Because especially when you think about the CSAT exam, the Sunin exam, what you're trying to do is figure out who's going to get to go to the top universities, the sky universities. And the only fair way to do that is to have a score. And a single score is going to make that happen. But then what that means is, and so they're going to memorize and focus on the facts, but that's not thinking.
As another part of the comparison, we were talking about this with our Penn State students and Konkuk students over the past couple weeks, and we talked about cheating. The American students were saying, we don't care if our friends cheat. Korean students were like, oh my God, how would you help someone to be better than you? And our students were like, whatever, I'm still gonna get my grade. Okay, it was fascinating.
But the Korean students were no. So a question for the panel here. How was it to feel, did you feel like you had to study hard? Like if you didn't study hard, your lives would be just ruined?
하기 싫었는데 했어요. 제가 나오는 고등학교가 그거보다 더 심했거든요.
잠깐 고등학교, 대학교를 좀 말씀해 주시겠습니까?
고등학교는 한국과학영재학교라고. I'm from Korea Science Academy. It was a gifted high school. 그리고 대학교는 카이스트라는 곳을 나왔고요. It's a Korean MIT.
쉽지 않은 곳인데.
근데 스카이캐슬보다 더 심한 경쟁 환경이 있다 보니까 공부를 안 하고 싶어도 옆에 있는 애들 보면은 괜히 주눅 들어서 더 열심히 하게 되고 막 그런 게 있었어요. 부모님은 오히려 워워 하셨죠. 얘가 너무 잠도 안 자고 공부를 하니까. 중학교 2학년 때 이후로는 공부하라는 말씀을 한 번도 하신 적이 없어요.
그럼 스스로 주변 환경 때문에 영향을 좀 받은 거예요?
네, 그쵸. 그때부터.
Well, let's say a couple things, here's an image of, we see this, right? Here, we see it with our Korean students. Many of the Korean students who we encounter at at Penn State University, they come to the U.S. because they want to escape the high levels of competitiveness here. And so they say, I just go to the U.S., it's a lot easier. And so many say, God, it's actually really easy to do well in the U.S. compared to in Korea. There's that viral video that we did in my class many years ago of my students. Many of you have probably seen it, where I compared an American woman and a Korean woman. So how about school? How do you do? Are you smart?
I hope so. I don't know.
What's your GPA?
I think I'm okay. It's over 3.0.
What's your GPA?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, go ahead. Korean woman who I've met with a couple times here in Korea that had been studying for was graduating Penn State in 2 years, and she had two majors, a science major and a psychology major.
와.
And she had a 3.8 GPA.
와.
She said, "Oh, I'm not very smart."
야, 대단하다.
Whereas the American woman had a 3.2 GPA, a very relatively low GPA, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm really smart."
Korean students tend to lead with humility and downplay their success and really just quietly succeed in their studies.
You know, I mentioned the Sky Universities here, and I'm thinking about, everybody talks about the Sky Universities. You know, for us, it's the equivalent of the Ivy League universities. And Koreans are obsessed with them, the top schools. And we laugh at that because most Americans are not obsessed with the Ivy League schools. You know, you might not really understand this.
아예 안 됩니다.
They don't want to go to the Ivy League. Many of our students, most of our students, they come to our university because we have a really big football program.
와.
와,
The stadium. This is exciting. And if you go to one of these games, you feel this energy and the passion, and you're like, I want to go there. That's cool. But our university, it's a very good university in the United States, but it is not Ivy League. And I would say, I don't know what percentage of our students, if they had a chance to go to Penn State or to go to Harvard or Yale or Princeton, they absolutely would go to Penn State because they want that other experience. And here, you know, it's hard. You know, it's really difficult for this current generation of young people in Korea. It's different. You're highly educated, you're overly educated. You know, 70% of this age group of 25 to 35, you have college degrees, but you don't, if you work hard and you do what you need to do, and then we promise success to you. But there aren't that many great jobs. You all can't have the top jobs. What we are experiencing among Korean youth is this kind of disillusionment and this angst and anxiety that comes from the fact of, like, they feel like they're not going to be able to go to that next level.